exactly 220 volts AC current. So basically this is a bike which moves the V belt. So this is the V belt which moves the 150 volts DC 0.5 amps current. So after I have generated this amount of voltage, there's a cable coming to here, which then this is the voltage stabilizer, which stabilizes the voltage from 150 volts down to 12 volts to 7 amps. And then there are another two cable, this is the battery charger. The battery charger charges the battery in order to like store the energy, and then from the battery to the 500 watt inverter. What the 500 watt inverter does, it basically changes the 12 volt AH battery to 500 watts 220 volts AC current. So I'm going to show you guys an example to like generate electricity in front of you. So what I'm doing now, I'm turning on the inverter, closing this. So this is basically the safety measurement in order like for kids or like small kids not to get electrocuted. So now I'm going to close it, and then okay. So basically this is the extension cable. I'm going to attach it here. I have like four sockets for the users to use. For example, you could charge your phone, you could like open the blender, you could turn on the fan, you could turn on the light. And so basically I'm going to turn on two devices today. So this lamp is a 60 watts lamp, which basically turns on right away because I already have charged the battery. So I have generated 220 volts here, 60 watts, and here another 30 watts of 220 volts AC current, which basically also turns on. It has 3 different speeds, so I'm turning on it to the 3rd speed, which turns on. So basically what you can do is you start paddling. You can paddle either way. You can paddle backwards or forwards. So it works on either side. And another like extra thing to make like my personal product look more appealing, I have added here three clips. So when I turn those on, they turn all of those 3 different lights on. Okay, so basically light number 1 is on the first clip, the second light, which is this one, and then the third one. So I can turn them on or off whenever I need to. So basically, yeah, so you just do like sports for around like between half an hour to 2 hours, and you start basically generating electricity. In the past 2 months or so, I have basically generated 220 volts AC current, which I already have mentioned, but I wanted to add to it. This invention really helped me in gaining knowledge about how electricity actually works. Like I learned about electromagnets, I learned how a car alternator actually works, and I also learned the difference between a normal dynamo and a car alternator. So another thing I wanted to add, this product doesn't seem like it took a lot of work, but it actually like took me exactly like around 2 weeks extensive work. I usually woke up like around 6 to 7 a.m. and then went to Azarqa. It's a place where it's a factory that my dad owns. So I usually always went there, and like I worked on my product. I painted the bike in a matte black color, which like, because this bike is actually 30 years old. So I tried to recycle stuff I already actually had. So this bike was in my backyard, and it was so old, the metal was rusty, so I had to like use sandpaper to actually remove the rust and to repaint it. Also here the seat, I have changed the type of cloth, so to make it more like relaxing for the people who will actually use it, so which is my target client. actually feel like comfortable when they use it. And like I also have like added here acrylic to make like my product look like more appealing, and due to safety reasons, because like children might also use it. So I was scared that children actually would like put their hand in between the V belt, so it would cause like many injuries. Also here, people, small children might get electrocuted due to the high amount of voltage. So I had to use this safety measurement. I had to add here a lock. This lock open and closes when I need to. Yeah, so like it basically is a small safety measurement for like children not to get electrocuted. And yeah, so I basically worked like really hard on this project. So I really appreciate it when like people use it wisely and then like in an ordered manner. So what I have basically done, I've went to physics teacher in our school, since he studied mechanical engineering, and I've asked him to find a formula to basically find out the average decreasing time of the battery. So the maximum amount of amps that is being sucked out of the battery is 2.27 amps. Based on my theoretical data, it needs exactly 10 hours for the battery to fully empty out. But after I have actually used the bike and fully emptied the battery and then recharged it, I have found out that temperature and the movement of the bike itself and the difference in atmosphere plays a major role in the decreasing charge of the battery. So theoretically, the battery should decrease in exactly 10 hours. But after I have calculated and I have tested out and done an experiment, and I based my hypothesis on it, which was my scientific explanation, I have found out that the battery needs 3 to 4 hours to fully charge and 2 to 3 hours to fully decrease in to fully empty out the battery. Yeah, so this is the battery is an ultra cell battery, which is different than a car battery. The car battery basically, if it is gone down to 0% of charge, you can basically just throw it away, because the battery cannot go back and increase the charge. So, but this battery, which is the ultra cell battery, it's a rechargeable VA battery, and this battery can basically go back to full zero and doesn't have a charge at all, and then fully charge to 100%. So this battery is basically used in solar panels in like small houses and in like different parts of the world. And there are different sizes of the battery. I didn't want to buy a huge battery, since this is like just a demo and like an experiment to show people that it actually works. And I think that after I have calculated it out, I thought that 2 to 3 hours was a reasonable time for the battery to decrease in charge. So you could basically like turn any electrical component or electrical device on using this battery, but you could not turn on the AC of your home, since it has around 3,000 watts of electricity, around so 3,000 watts divided by 220 volts, which gives us the amount of amps. So this inverter is only capable of supplying 500 watts of energy. So I could basically turn on anything except, as I mentioned, the AC, the hair dryer, since it's also 3,000 watts, the heater of your room, which also like absorbs and uses a lot of energy, and like that's basically it. So, but other than that, you could like turn on anything in your home, such as the television. I tried even turning on the 65-inch television, which used around 150 watts, watts of energy to like watts of energy to like fully to work, which was half the capacity of this inverter. So I was able to also choose between the different types of inverters. There are 100 watt inverter, 200 watt inverter, 500 watt inverter, 1000 watt inverter, 1500, and the last but not least, 3000 watt inverter. So I felt that the 500 watt inverter was the most suitable for me to actually use in like this project. Okay, so the last thing I just wanted to to add and to make sure, like um, here as seen, there's a load on the battery. Here it lights up yellow when I'm actually not using the bike. So as actually like here seen, there's like the sign load, which is yellow. So when I start paddling, wait, I'll just put this here. When I actually start paddling, there's the green light, which actually turns on. So which proves that I'm actually charging the battery. Okay, so that's it basically. This is my project, and I thank you all of you guys for like. I thank my parents. I thank the company's driver for like the support they gave me, because like sometimes before this I had this idea. I wanted to generate electricity using magnets. So but after like a lot of research, I figured out that potential motion isn't actually possible. So you can't generate electricity from nothing. So here, what I have basically done, I used my energy, which is my chemical energy, and changed it into mechanical energy, which is movement, in order to generate electrical energy. But when using magnets, I didn't have actually a source which moved the fan blades in order to move the dynamo to generate electricity. So in those 2 months, as I already have mentioned, I really worked hard, and I learned like much more than even like 2 years of school. So this was really beneficial, and I hope that I'm sure that this will help me in my future, since when I want to go to college, the electricity field would really help me. Like it gave me a head start, or like a boost for me to really understand what electricity is. Yeah. So thank you again, and yeah, that's it.